Welcome to Gentle Yoga Flow. Today we have some really nice supported back bends. So you will need, either a folded up blanket, or if you have an extra yoga mat at home, that'll be nice. What we want is just something that we can either roll or fold into more of like a long pillow. So even like a big bolster, or if you have one of those at home or something. Just use what you have. A beach towel works really well, and I'll show you that when we get there. So set up your space, gather some comfy things, some supportive things. I got blankets, I got bolsters behind me. And we're gonna get started. Let's find tabletop position. I wanna get a little bit of movement and then we'll relax into it. So finding your way to all fours. Just take a moment. If you need a pillow or a cushion under your knees, make sure you add that. Spread the fingers and then drop your belly to the mat. Lift your heart, lift your tailbone, shoulders pull back. Maybe wag the tail side to side as you take a big breath. And then exhale, you're gonna round into that cat stretch, pressing through the tops of the feet, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. Hold it here. Maybe shifting the weight forward and back. And on an exhale, go ahead and go back into your back bend. Lifting the tail, reaching the chest forward, maybe wagging the tail. Take a big inhale, and then on an exhale, rounding into that cat stretch. Tucking the chin, pushing the ground away. Hold it here, breathe into the back of the body. And one more time, go into that back bend. Feel the length from tailbone to the crown of the head. You can take a breath. And then exhale, round into that cat stretch again. Connecting your movement with your breath. Now let's find a child's pose. Big toes touch, knees wide, hips to the heels, and then the forehead's going to come down to either the mat or the back of the hands. Let's just take a pause. I invite you to close your eyes. Take a big breath in. Feel the expansion through the abdomen and the rib cage, and let a slow exhale out. You have arrived. This time on your yoga mat is precious. These minutes where you get to replenish your energy levels, to reinforce your body's ability to heal and your mind's ability to focus. You are exactly where you need to be. So take another slow breath in and a slow breath out. Inviting your mind to stay anchored on the breath, on the body. Being patient and kind with yourself. Slowly, arms stretch forward as you come up into tabletop again. Spread the fingers really wide and then tuck the toes under. We're going to take a down dog here. Sending the tailbone up, melting the chest back. And let's pedal the heels. So bending one knee, lifting that heel as the opposite heel presses down, and then switching. Letting the head just hang. Take one more big breath. Keeping the knees bent, you're going to walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands so that you end up in a forward fold somewhere on your yoga mat. And I recommend that your feet are wide. So maybe heel toe the feet a little wider. Now, generous bend in your knees. Arms are just hanging. Relax your head. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Trust your legs to hold you up as you take a big breath into the back of your body. Relax your jaw, soften your eyes, wiggle your toes so the inner arches of the feet are lifted. Letting gravity decompress the spine, right? All day long you've been upright and gravity has been pressing down on your spine. And right here, maybe even sway the torso side to side. We're letting gravity create space between each vertebrae. Hydrating those intervertebral discs. Take one more big breath. Walk the hands back into down dog. And then slowly bring your knees to the mat. Ooh. Nice. We'll take our bellies all the way to the mat. So slowly lowering your belly down. Arms in the front as a pillow. Separate the legs a little bit. Bend the knees. Windshield wiper your lower legs to the right and then to the left. Relax the shoulders, maybe even close the eyes. Being gentle, being patient with your movements. Not forcing anything. Every time we come to our yoga mat, it's this opportunity to just be. To observe, where are you tight in your body? Where are you holding or clenching or gripping? How can you remind your body that it's safe? Remind your body that you are supported, that this practice has your back. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Go ahead and bring the feet to center. Let's reach our right arm back and grab that right ankle. Ooh. Now, if you're having trouble grabbing it, the other option is to roll to the left side and then grabbing your ankle from the side. That's a good option too. So if that feels better, you always have that. Now, making sure that you're grabbing your ankle closer to your shin than your toes so you're not pulling on your foot. Energy in that right ankle by flexing your toes down. Take a big breath. Can you press the front of the right hip down into the floor? Maybe try to kick your right foot into your right hand. Let your chest lift a little bit. I have my left hand on the floor in front of me just for a little support as I kick that right foot back into that right hand and my chest lifts. So I find this nice back bend. And my front of my right shoulder gets a nice stretch too. Keep the hips pressing down. Take another breath. And then see if you can pull your right heel towards your right hip a little more. Go ahead and release that right leg. Shake it out a little bit. Now we're going to stay on this right side, and what we're going to do is we're going to slide our right knee up out to our side. I'm doing the opposite leg just so you can see. So I went from a straight leg, I'm going to slide it up. Now, you have blankets or cushions nearby, and if you want, right, and especially if you're on a hardwood floor, you might want to put a cushion underneath this right knee. So we're still on the right leg. So if you need to grab a little cushion or pillow, go ahead and do that. So you got I call it a frog leg. It's half frog, right? We got this little frog leg on the side. Now come up onto your forearms. Press from your pinkies to your elbows. The elbows can be as wide as you need to so you can really smile the collarbone. Take a big breath. As you exhale, can you draw your belly button in and let your tailbone lengthen down? Maybe you need to adjust the legs so you don't feel jammed, right? We feel lots of length. Heart reaching forward, tailbone lengthening down. Nice, one more breath here. We'll lower the chest down, and you're going to turn your head to the left. So your head is turned the opposite way, and you can use one of your arms or both of your hands as a pillow. Big breath in, allowing the body to soften as you exhale. Noticing when the mind wanders, guiding your thoughts back to right here and right now. That's a huge part of this yoga practice. Keeping your mind anchored. Inhaling a little deeper, a little fuller. And exhaling completely. Allowing this moment to be enough. One more big breath here. And carefully, you're going to slide your right knee down. Maybe shake out the legs a little bit. And then we'll take our left hand back, bend that left knee, grab that left ankle. So we'll start with this half bow pose. Grabbing closer to the shin than the toes. So you got a nice grip. If you need to roll to the right side to grab that leg, do that. Do what you need to do. Take a breath. Press the front of that left hip down or forward if you're on your side. Energy in that left ankle. Maybe starting to kick the left leg into that left hand and the chest lifts. Pressing the front of the hips down. Big breaths. And then go ahead and release that side. If you used a blanket, maybe slide it over to the left side so that you can find that frog leg, the left knee up. Yeah, and the knee doesn't need to be any higher than the hip. I don't want you to feel crunchy in this left hip, so you can always slide it down a little bit. Find the opening. Let's come up onto the forearms, so we're in Sphinx pose. Press from pinkies to elbows. Shoulders back, heart reaches forward. Take a breath. Use your awareness as a superpower. Adjusting the legs if you need to, so the front of the hips can really open up towards the mat. Making sure that you're not dumping into your lower back. We want the tailbone lengthening down towards the right foot as the heart reaches forward. Little subtle micro adjustments to find length. And then go ahead and release the upper body down. Turn the head to the right. You can use the back of your arms as pillows if you need to. Relax your shoulders. And we got a couple breaths here. Focusing my attention right here, right now, and letting the stories fade away. This intimate connection with myself. And sometimes I find it helpful as I watch my thoughts to file my thoughts away. So if a judgment comes up, I file it in the judgment folder, put it away. If I start planning, I file it in my planning folder and I put it away. Kind of a sifting and sorting process, whatever works for you. So that you are not ruled by your thoughts. That your thinking is just one of your tools. There's a vast amount of intelligence, wisdom that exists in your body, in your heart. Sometimes we got to work to practice to get the mind out of the way so we can tune into something deeper. Let's take one more big breath here. Go ahead and slide that left leg down. Go slow. Ooh, shake the legs out a little bit. Take your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Use your hands and your knees to push the ground away as you lift the body off the mat. And as we go back into child's pose, I want you to round your back and then sit the hips to the heels. Oh, coming all the way down. Letting the forehead rest either on the mat or the back of the hands. And take a big breath. Give yourself permission to pause. Slowly go ahead and come up. Whew. All right, we're going to do one more stretch here and then we'll lie down. We're going to do some half pigeon. Oh yeah, we're doing it. Let's start actually by stretching out our feet. So I want you to grab a cushion or a pillow, put it behind your knees, tuck your toes under, and then, put some weight onto your heels. Now, you don't have to put all your weight. You can keep your hands on the floor as you determine what works for you, or you can sit all the way up. Big inhale through your nose. Slow the exhale down. Making sure the baby toes made it under also. Sometimes, they like to escape and you got to reach back and assist them. Respecting your limits as you find your appropriate edge. There's nothing you have to force. Everything works better when you're kind to it, and that includes your body. If it feels good, sometimes a little side to side action might feel good, a little rocking side to side. About 10 more seconds here. All right, we're going to slowly release this. You can move the pillow or the blanket out of the way. Come to the tops of your feet and then tap your feet out. Okay, make sure you have pillows or cushions nearby. You're going to step your right foot outside of your right hand. Let the hips go back a little bit. Heel toe your right foot over to the left. Lock out that right ankle by flexing the toes up to the shin and then sliding some pillows or blankets as that right knee comes down, maybe pillows and blankets underneath that right hip. So we end up in a half pigeon pose. And I'll face this way and I'll show you guys this way. All right, so my foot's forward. I'm going to heel toe it over, locking out the ankle. Maybe preparing some blankets for this hip to land on. And then the knee comes down. Now make sure your back leg, stretch that leg back. I'd prefer it if you just were on the top part of the leg, not letting that back left leg rotate. Whew. And sometimes this takes some, getting into. If you have another bolster or even yoga blocks, those can be in front of you, something to put your hands on. And try to get both hips to face forward. The hardest part about this is getting into it. So you find what feels good, take a big breath, lift your heart, and if it feels good, you might even take it down to your elbows. We're just here for a few breaths. Now, if this just feels terrible on your knees, this doesn't feel safe for you, your alternative stretch would be a figure 4 stretch on your back. So if you're out there and you're like, this doesn't feel good, that is okay. There's always something you can do. You'd lay on your back, you'd cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh, and then you can be in your figure 4 stretch somewhere here. Nice. Wherever you decide, whatever variation you're in, take a big breath. Slow down the exhale. Scan your body. Observe. Are there places where you're holding or gripping? Remind your body that you are safe, supported. You can always make adjustments. On your next inhale, can you breathe in a little deeper, a little fuller? Exhale out a little bit more. All right, we're going to come out of this. So coming back up onto your hands to get out of half pigeon, you're going to tuck your back toes. Lift your hips so you can slide that right leg back in a tabletop. If you are on your back in figure 4, stay there because you're just going to switch sides. So take a second, hit the reset button. Those of us in half pigeon, we're back in tabletop. And then we'll step our left foot outside of our left hands. Heel toe the foot over to the right. Lock out the ankle as you let the knee come forward and down, maybe grabbing cushions or pillows for underneath this right hip. Take your time with it. There's no rush. Big inhale, big exhale. You can stretch that right leg back. And then you can fold over that leg if that's something that's feeling like it'll feel good. Our hips are the emotional storehouse, the junk drawer of emotions. Every time we think a thought, we interact with others. Everything has some sort of emotional indicator. And if we don't allow ourselves to process our emotions, they'll get stored in the body, and oftentimes they get stored in the hips. As you inhale, try to get the breath all the way down into the hips. Letting yourself process any emotions that are being stored there. Let's take one more big breath. If you're in half pigeon, slowly coming up to hands. Tuck the back toes, lift the hips, carefully get yourself out of your stretch. Now, if you are in figure 4 on your back, I'm going to have you roll over to the side and then come up to seated. Take a second. If you need to hit the reset button, shake anything out, please do that. We're going to set ourselves up for a nice restorative heart opener, chest opener. So you're going to grab, if you have a blanket like I have here, what you can do is roll it up like a burrito. Ta-da! Then you got a burrito happening here. If you have 2, you could stack one underneath and then one on top like this. And then I like to use my yoga block, so my head would go here. So I'm just creating some sort of like cylinder elevated thing. I could do that with pillows. I could do that with anything. And just eyes on me real quick. Let me demo so that you can prep. My hips are on the floor, snuggled nice and close to whatever I'm using, and it could be a yoga mat. And then I'm going to lay back, and I want to make sure my head is supported. And then this is my pose. Oh, yeah. So the higher you stack your supplies, whatever you're using, your equipment, the more intense it'll be. So you are in charge of the intensity here. Now I like to make sure that my lower back feels supported. So oftentimes I'll fold up the little end of my blanket so that my lower back I got that lumbar support back there. The hardest part of this is getting into it. And you might not get it the first time. You might have to roll over, come up, readjust, and then go back into it. Once you feel like you found your spot, start with your knees bent. I like feet wide, so my knees kind of fall inward towards each other. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. Make sure the back of the neck is long. Relax your jaw. Take a big breath. Scanning the body for any places you want to adjust or shift. Smoothing out the eyebrows. If a different variation of your legs is calling to you, you might try butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees wide. Or you could even extend the legs. You just find what works for your body. Being brave as you allow your heart to be open. courageously expanding in the luminosity of your heart space. The heart emits a bigger electromagnetic field than your brain. Your heart senses, it feels, it influences every other system in the body. What do you need here? Forgiveness, love, gentleness, safety, compassion, tenderness. Big breath in. Nice, slow, easy breath out. Now, if your legs are extended, go ahead and bend your knees. If you took a butterfly leg variation, close your knees up like a book. Take your time with it. To get out of this, you're going to roll over to whatever side you'd like. And then just scoot your blankets and your pillows out of the way and then roll onto your back. So we're going to end up just flat on our backs. Then we're going into Shavasana. So if you would like to take, well, before we do Shavasana though, I want to do a twist. So let's hug our knees into our chest. Rock side to side. Take a deep breath. Bring your chin down so the back of your neck is long. Then open your right arm out to your right side and let your knees go over to the left. Looking over that right shoulder, right arm stretches away. Take a big breath. Slowly bring your knees back to center. Reset the spine by hugging the knees in, and then we'll do the other side. Left arm out, knees go right. Relax the shoulders. Take in one more big breath. Bring it back to center. Hug your knees in. Take a breath. And now let's find Shavasana. So you can take those cushions that you used and maybe you put them underneath the back of your knees. Whatever allows you to be comfortable for your final relaxation pose. Take a moment to shift and adjust so that you feel supported. Lengthen the back of the neck, relax the jaw. Take a big breath into a soft belly. And a big exhale out as you allow your body to get soft and heavy. Close your eyes, relax your jaw. Smooth out your eyebrows. Release control of your breath. Allow your mind to empty and your body to find stillness. We are vibrational beings here in a vibrational world. And as we find stillness, we remind our tissues, we remind our whole body on a cellular level that relaxation is an integral part of allowing ourselves to be in those high vibrations like joy, love, contentment, clarity. slowly, gently. Notice your breathing, just the natural flow of breath. As you guide your awareness back to this body in this room. Allow your first active movement to be a big full belly breath in. Nice long exhale out. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your wrists and your ankles. Slowly turn the head to the right and then to the left. And when you feel ready, you're going to bend your knees, roll over onto your left side, and pause for a moment. Taking a breath, lying on your side. As we awaken out of Shavasana pose, we are reborn in a way, refreshed, revitalized. So slowly, with ease, push yourself up to a seated position. Take a second, maybe putting a cushion under your hips so that you can sit up nice and tall. Take your time, but once you get here, let's go hand on the heart and a hand on the belly. Taking a breath. Feeling the body breathing underneath your hands. And silently whispering to yourself, "Thank you, body. I'm listening." Let's bring our palms together, hands at our hearts. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. Thank you for opening your heart and your mind, for taking care of yourself today. And from my heart to yours, namaste.